Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I want to tell you a little bit about my struggles in life in school. I had an IEP, and a lot of kids with an IEP, they're in special ed. I had reading problems. I had spelling problems. A lot of understanding my sounds of words, breaking down words. That's something that I've struggled with. I struggle with some comprehension situations. But these are the things that, some people have a hard time with talking about. They don't want to talk about this kind of stuff because it hurts. And they don't want to be made fun of. And they don't want to be called stupid or don't want to be called names that hurts. But my disability and my struggles were real. And I wanted to just talk about a little bit of it because I passed by the skin of my teeth, the 12th grade. As everyone knows, they give you Merlin functional tests at the end of the year. I think I passed that 4 or 5 hours before I graduated. I've always had people to read things to me, because of my dyslexia. That's been something very hard for me. I've struggled with that all my life, me having dyslexia, me dealing with not knowing my right and my left, me having a hard time with my D and my B's, me having hard times with sounding out words. Like, that's a struggle that I've had all my life. And, usually with kids with things like that and disabilities, we don't really know exactly all the time what exactly is going on with the kids when you're growing up. And a lot of them lash out in different ways. They want to fight other kids. They're angry. They do a lot of things just to try to get attention. But we as parents, sometimes we always go to the worst things to do as let's just discipline them and put them, on punishment, or we yell at them and we get angry. And when at the end of the day, me as a child looking back, I struggle with a lot, wanting to be normal like any other children, I put a good face on, but the struggles was really hard. Me, in smaller classes and, with 2 teachers and, things that kids now that have that kind of stuff, they get so ridiculed and so beaten up because they're in a special ed class or they have an IEP as a child. What hurts me more is that has been going on. This has been going on for years. You know, I'm I'm almost 50, and when I was in school as a child, it was always looked at as the kids were stupid. You know, not just that I have a learning disability or I have dyslexia. It was just that I was stupid. You know, not trying to figure out what is going on with me. But dyslexic now is so much looked at as it is a problem. And they try to help the kids that do have it, and I think they need to give more help to children, especially with disabilities and reading disabilities, especially and learning disabilities, because at the end of the day, you all, these are the kids that are out here that are frustrated with life, with these disabilities. And we're out here and we put them on medication and stuff, and that's not always the right thing to do. And see, I'm one of the children that I didn't. My mom didn't give me medication. And yes, I struggled and it was hard. But she's always told me all my life, you have to pay your bills. And at the end of the day, these are things that you need to know as being an adult. Your bills have to be paid and you have to keep a roof over the top of your head. You have to keep food in your refrigerator, especially you have kids. These are the things we need to teach our kids with disabilities instead of throwing them on the back burner and saying, oh, I can't deal with this child because this child has a problem. Because they do have a problem, but they still need to know the basics of life. You still have to teach them how to go to the grocery store, go to the grocery store with you and teach them things, because we give up on our children with problems because it is very frustrating. Me with dyslexia, I have a 14-year-old with dyslexia and ADHD, and I have a 26-year-old with intellectual disability. It's very frustrating, but I just thought I'd come on here on YouTube tonight and just tell a little bit about my story and my life of my struggles, and I'm hoping this could help someone. And I'm sure, you're going to get negative. I'm going to get negative things, and that's fine. Because at the end of the day, my life is so much better than some people's lives are. And I know this is going to help someone to get up and say, okay, I've got to do something. I've struggled. I got to push myself. And a lot of women with children that have disabilities, they're out here working because they have to work to take care of their children. They can't go back to school. No, they need to work because we have to pay our bills. We have to continue to keep a roof over top of our children's heads, and you have to have money to do anything in life. And so that's the only thing you can do. It's not going back to school. It's asking someone, can you help me with this application? Or can you help me with this? Or can you help me with that? Because they don't understand. They don't. And the ones that do understand a little bit, it's still frustrating for them. It's a lot of adults out here that are hiding their disability because they don't want people to know. They don't want to be embarrassed by someone knowing they had an IEP growing up. They were in special ed. They have reading disabilities. I'm here to tell you, I have no problem with saying that. And I don't care what people say to me. Because at the end of the day, I'm taking care of my own kids. I have a roof over top of my head, and I'm doing good. In my space, I'm doing good. For other people, they might not think I'm doing good, but I feel like I'm doing good. I'm doing better than some people. And like I said, I keep my household clean. I pay my own bills. Yes, like I said, I've said this before in another video. It's very hard when you got to pay bills sometimes, when you're struggling and you're, piecing money together to get through the months and taking care, make sure you have food and stuff like that. But this is something that I know that someone else needs to hear. Like, no matter what your reading disability is, or your disability is, or your learning disability is, at the end of the day, you have to love yourself. In order to keep going in life, you have to love yourself. In order to love your children, you have to love yourself. And some of us have husbands. We have to love ourselves because, seeing you down and seeing you negative, that affects your children, that affects your relationship. It affects it reflects everything. It hurts everything. And I'm getting kind of emotional because I know people with dyslexic can relate with me, that if you don't have an understanding man behind you, or understanding, woman by your side, or man, that's willing to go through things with you, it's very challenging because they don't understand you. Relationships are very hard for normal people. So, it's very hard for us because when we get frustrated, we really sometimes don't even know how to say, look, I'm going through something. I'm going through something. I'm hurting. This is very, very challenging for me. And sometimes people don't pick that up. Even though if you've been in relationships for years, they don't pick that kind of stuff up. And some of us go into relationships and don't even say anything about our flaws. On top of that, I've had abusive relationship I was in. It's a lot of things that people go through and you never know, but they keep a smile on their face. And I want everyone to make sure that you share this video with someone. Tell someone about this, because I know there's somebody in your circle that's going through something like this. And I know your reading skills are not the best. I know your math is not the best. I know your comprehension is not the best. But you got to keep going. You got to keep going. I know you're still struggling with passing the driver's test. You got to keep going. I know you have a hard time with your left and your right. You got to keep going. I know it's hard for you to get up every day to deal with life. You got to keep going. I want you all to like, subscribe, and comment. I want you to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, because I'm going to continue to talk about my story of my life, my struggles, the things I've been through all my life, and the things I'm still going through, and the things I have to fight through with my kids, them being men. And I'm going to end this with, you never give up. Never give up. Never throw in the towel, no matter how hard life gets. You never throw in the towel. You keep moving.